Good morning from Canada. We crossed into Canada as we slept overnight and woke up this morning and had our breakfast delivered to our room. This is the epitome of cruise luxuriating. So you'll typically have a few breakfast options that you can have delivered to your room. They do have some continental breakfast that's complimentary. That's what we've gotten today. Or you can have what they call the American breakfast that has a $7.95 delivery fee. So they have these hang tags on the desk, and they have a list of the options that they have, and you just complete this hang tag and you leave it out on your door before 3 a.m. And at the front you can pick your preferred delivery time and they will deliver your breakfast to your room. You get to enjoy your breakfast with this beautiful view if you have a balcony room, which we highly recommend. We've done interior and we get it. It's cheaper, it's more economical, but the balcony room will spoil you. At least it did for us. You can't beat this, it's gorgeous.
Hey! It's day 2 here on the cruise. It's a bit windy, I'd say. Matt says, let's go play putt-putt. Great idea, Matt, great idea.
It seemed like the thing to do.
It's not the thing to do. We need to go back inside. We'll see what happens. So we really haven't done a whole lot today. We slept in, played a couple trivia games, had some lunch, went to the hot tub at one point, just been luxuriating and enjoying a down day. And I don't think this putt-putt thing is going to work out very well. But they do have the putt-putt clubs here. You just grab a club. And over here they have the balls and the pencils, although I don't see any game cards, so I guess this will just be for fun. The wind's gonna blow this ball like all over the place anyway, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit this ball off the lighthouse. It's gonna go over and hit the rock. Just kidding, I don't know how to putt-putt. The wind is gonna mess it up anyway. Here we go. I am gonna aim for the lighthouse there.
Oh, it's not bad. Well played. Well played. Winner of today's BlickHunt Invitational is yours truly by 1 stroke. How's that feel, Joyce?
It feels awful. I'm up here getting my hair blown to bits, and I lost my one. It's the worst. He's always trying to beat me at things, and usually does.
And
we'll have to try again. And now it's time to go get cleaned up for dinner. But it's formal night. We can't go looking like this. Hold on. Ta-da! You clean up well.
So do you.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm kind of hungry.
I am too. You want to go to dinner?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so depending on the length of your cruise, there's going to be at least 1, if not 2, formal nights. Now, formal nights are just a fun night where you can get dressed up in some nicer attire and go have dinner in the main dining room, walk around. They'll usually have photo booths set up that you can take photos. There's definitely no requirement to participate, but it is a lot of fun, especially after a long day, to come in and get cleaned up and go out to dinner.
So we took a little detour on the way to dinner. We stopped here in the Schooner Bar. We did find out it's Schooner, not Schooner, so now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Knowing is half the battle. Grabbing some pre-dinner drinks before we go in for our dinner. Cheers.
Cheers.
So while we're on the subject of dining, let's talk about the dining options aboard the Serenade of the Seas. Your main dining, which comes with the cost of the cruise, is going to be here in the Reflections dining room. When you register for your cruise, you'll be able to select either My Time Dining, which will allow you to dine at the time of your choice, or you can select the early or late dining option. For our cruise, we chose the late dining, which was about 7:30 each night. Now, there's nothing that says you have to dine in the main dining room each night, but if you do, you'll probably be assigned to the same table to sit at each night. So this makes it very easy when you go because you simply have to go to your assigned table and you don't have to wait to be seated. Now, a quick note with regard to seating, especially if you're new to cruising. Unless you request a private table,
You will most likely be sat at a table with other guests. Some people enjoy this opportunity to get to know other people and make some new friends, while others may find this a bit of an uncomfortable experience. Now, if you fall into that latter category, just talk to the waitstaff and they'll do what they can to accommodate your dining preferences. So since our last cruise, Royal Caribbean has updated their menus, and each night they feature a different country and they have some chef's recommendations. So tonight is a taste of France. They're having escargots, roasted beef tenderloin, and creme brulee as the chef recommendations. And there's also a bunch of other things in the starters and main courses and desserts. So for dinner tonight, I'm having the butternut squash soup.
I'm starting off with the crispy calamari tonight.
And for the main course tonight, I'm going with the beef bourguignon. This is pretty good. The flavor is definitely there, but the meat is a little bit tough. I think it could stand to be cooked a little bit longer and be a little bit more tender. It does have some mushrooms in there, but they were big enough to pick out. I'm definitely not a fan of mushrooms. But overall, it was good. I'm not sure I would get it again, but it's worth trying.
And for my main tonight, I went with the salmon with a parsnip puree. So the salmon was actually cooked pretty well. It is an herb-crusted salmon, which actually had pretty good flavor to it. The parsnips were good. The sauce is good. I'd probably get this one again. It's been one of the better meals we've had on the cruise so far.
Okay, and for the best part of the meal, I've got the no sugar added cappuccino chocolate cake. It looks like a chocolate cake layer with a light fluffy mousse type topping. Can't wait to dig in. And then we also have the classic creme brulee. Also looks amazing. Now, if you don't want to dine in the main dining room, the ship does have a couple of other restaurants on board, but they do come with an upcharge. Or you could choose to dine in the Windjammer, which is the buffet style option on deck 11. We honestly were a little disappointed that this ship only offered the 2 complimentary dining options, because we're used to other ships which have things like burrito bars, burger stands, pizza and deli bars, and the like, which are open later into the evening. So that's just something to keep in mind if you choose to sail on the Serenade of the Seas. Let's talk a little bit about the activities and entertainment on board your cruise. Cruises are full of activities to keep you entertained while at sea. They offer a lot of variety of things to choose from, so there's generally something on board for everyone. Some of our favorites include the game shows, trivia, and dance parties. Most of your onboard activities are complimentary, but some do come with an upcharge. Every ship offers different classes. Ours had a mixology class and a cupcake decorating class. And in the evenings, they usually have a nightly show in the main theater as well. Some ships even have Broadway-style productions. For our cruise, we had an Elton John impersonator, and he was a lot of fun to watch. One of my favorite evening activities was the silent disco party. If you've never heard of that before, it's where you get a pair of headphones and you have 2 different channels that you can listen to. Each channel is playing a different song, and it's usually pretty different from the other one. So it's actually pretty funny to take off your headphones and just listen to everyone singing along to the different songs. So in case you've ever wondered what you could see at night when you're on a cruise ship, this is it. Absolutely nothing. Darkness as far as the eye can see. There's one light way over there. We think it might be another cruise ship. Otherwise, absolutely dark. It's beautiful and creepy at the same time. Look at those waves. This boat is rocking. Ophelia has really brought some waves. Woo! Alright, back inside. So you may be wondering what a picture of Whoopi Goldberg is doing on this ship. I found this out as I was researching some notes for the ship. Apparently most of the ships have godmothers, and Whoopi Goldberg happens to be the godmother of this ship. So they say that usually when they start their initial sailing and they put the ship into service, they'll invite some celebrities on board to be a part of the day.
to christen the ship, and Whoopi Goldberg was invited to be a part of this one. So there she is, godmother of the ship.
Now, unfortunately, there will come a time when your lovely cruise must come to an end. So we wanted to kind of walk you through that process so you know what to expect when it's time to get off the ship. So toward the end of your cruise, your stateroom attendant may leave an extra envelope in your room for additional tips. Now, it is certainly not required that you leave additional gratuity, but you do have the option should you choose to do so. One thing to note about gratuity is that each cruise does charge a per person per day gratuity fee on top of your cruise cost. And the amount charged does vary between cruise line. For Royal Caribbean for this cruise, it was $16.60 per person per day after gratuities and taxes were figured in. Another thing to note while we're on the subject of gratuities is that the bar staff does automatically add an 18% gratuity charge to any drink purchased at any of the bars aboard ship. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you do choose to purchase alcohol while you're on your cruise, you will have an opportunity to leave an additional gratuity if you'd like, but the gratuity will automatically be added into your alcohol purchase. And we just like to point these out because gratuity fees can add up pretty quickly as an additional cost on your cruise, and sometimes that can catch you off guard, especially if you're a first-time cruiser. So be sure that you calculate for that expense when you're booking your cruise.
Okay guys, it's early here. We are back in Boston. This is the last day of our cruise. It's time to get off the ship. Matt is up getting some breakfast at the Windjammer, and I was just finishing up some packing here. So I just thought we'd go over just a few things on your last day of how to disembark from the ship. First off, we chose today to do self-assist, which means we're going to carry our own luggage off of the ship. That also means that we're one of the first people to get off the ship. So we were given a 7:15 call time that we will carry our bags and get off the ship. Now, if you choose not to do that, you have the option to have the porters help carry your luggage off the ship. You do have to get everything packed up and put outside your cabin room by 10 p.m. the night before, and they will help carry it off. You will be given a luggage tag number, and when it's time for your luggage tag number to be called, you will then have your opportunity to get off the ship. Now, if you choose to do this, they do request that everyone be out of their staterooms by 8 a.m. This gives the stateroom attendants enough time to turn over those rooms and get them cleaned for the next guests that are going to come aboard. And so how they'll do that is they will assign, based on your luggage tag number, they'll give you a place throughout the ship, like one of the lounges to go and hang out, and that'll be the spot that you stay in until your tag number is called, and then it'll be time to disembark. So while Matt's upstairs getting some breakfast, I thought I'd share a few of my thoughts about this particular ship. So when we picked this cruise, we chose it for the itinerary. We wanted to go do some hiking and go up into Canada in the fall, hopefully see some of the leaves and the beautiful color changes that are happening up in Canada. Unfortunately, they had a dry summer, so the leaves hadn't quite turned yet. But we still went to some beautiful locations. So we picked the ship for that reason, and not because of the amenities or anything that are on board this particular ship. So one of the knocks I would say against the Serenade of the Seas is they have some pretty limited food options. The food in the dining room was good. Royal Caribbean has changed its menu since we've sailed last. There were some hits and there were some misses for sure. The service was spectacular, so we can't complain about that. The Windjammer option, the buffet, was just okay. It's your standard food. I mean, it's a buffet, so it's kind of hard to knock it out of the park, I feel like, when you're cooking for that many people and you're doing buffet style. But they had good options. They had some options that kept with the theme for the food every night. They had a lot of Asian and Indian cuisine on the ship, which I personally loved. I love that food. And they have your standard pizza, burgers, fries, chicken nuggets, things like that. So it wasn't bad. But a lot of the other ships, you'll also have other areas out and about. So there's usually a pizza bar that stays open late, or maybe there's a burrito bar, or some of them have like Guy Fieri's burger joint or some things like that on there. So those are the only two complimentary options that you had to eat. Another kind of knock on the food service here was there were periods of the time throughout the day where there weren't any options available to find food. So the Windjammer would close between breakfast and lunch and dinner for about an hour each time, half an hour to an hour each time. Or maybe late at night when you just kind of have a craving for something. Ships have activities that go on until midnight, 1 in the morning sometimes. So
you might get hungry, you might be out and want a little snack. So during those times, there were only a couple of little opportunities. There was Matt's back from breakfast. He's distracting me. There was a Cafe Latitudes on the ship, which served Starbucks coffee, and they had a few just kind of reach-in sandwiches, like an egg salad sandwich, maybe a turkey wrap, half a turkey wrap, a couple of pastry options. So those were your only food options, kind of like those in-between stages and late at nights. But we've had a great time on this cruise. So much fun. Matt, real fast, what was your favorite thing that we did?
Acadia.
Acadia?
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
Good. St. Martin Sea Caves, that was that whole day was a good one too. But overall, still a very active trip. But we had some good downtime in there as well. A couple of leisurely days in between. So, yeah, those were the highlights for me.
Yeah, for sure. If you're interested in seeing the New England, Canada area, this itinerary was really good. Acadia is absolutely stunning. Bar Harbor, Maine was beautiful. The town was super cute. So we met someone on this cruise that kind of summed up cruising perfectly, I think, where she said that if you take a cruise, it kind of gives you just this little taste of all these different areas. So, you only have a day in port, so you can't get out and do a lot, but you can see those areas in the country that maybe you want to go back and spend a week or so on a vacation. So we really love that, just to get a little taste of seeing a lot of different things. And now it's time to say goodbye, and that's really sad. We have to go back to reality, but we are here in Boston for one more day. We don't fly out until the morning, so we're going to get out, go take our bags to the hotel that we're staying at, and then go explore the city. So we're excited about that. Thank you guys so much for following us along on our cruise adventures. If you like this video, found anything very helpful in it, if you could just give this video a big thumbs up, like and subscribe to our page, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any other adventures that we go on.
And feel free to share amongst your friends.
Yeah, and if you've been on a cruise or you've been on this cruise, let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Maybe help us plan our next one.
That's right. Yeah, where should we visit? We're always looking for our next adventure. Let us know. Okay, guys, that's it for us for now. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.